Hello and welcome to my basement. I'm hoping this isn't too loud because I think the air condition just turned on, but hopefully it's good aesthetic. So in my basement, and I decided since I had a moment away from children, I would do a 3-month postpartum update and baby update as well. And talk about the recovery and all of the things. So first off, what I've been doing for recovery, a lot of downtime, trying to eat healthy, but also still kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say I'm like 100% healthy because I definitely been eating some junk. But I've also been breastfeeding. I know since I've been home on maternity leave, I definitely struggled with 3 meals a day, because occasionally I either sleep too late and skip breakfast, or I have a late breakfast and I skip lunch, or I say let's just do lunch. Usually always have dinner, or I've been like eating like super small meals because it's been so hot outside. So I guess eating in some ways have been a struggle. But the meals that I do have, we've been making mostly at home and trying to do like healthy summer meals. We eat a lot more fresh stuff in the summertime because of the garden and things. So that's been nice. Also been breastfeeding. Difference between this time around and last time around is that I've almost been exclusively breastfeeding, minus when PD was doing swimming lessons in June. I would skip a feed and just give him a bottle and then come home and pump, so I kind of build up a little bit of a supply. My plan is to breastfeed until he starts food, at least, so starts like his oatmeals and things. But I think I was still breastfeeding PD in the evening until he got teeth around 4 months. So we'll kind of see what happens. I have built up a supply for when I go back to work and things, and then back full time. Get into that. So I've been pumping and kind of keeping up a supply. I also would like to supply because this time I am adamant about making our own purees. I really wanted to do it with PD, but I was talked out of it by coworkers, and this time I was like, no, I'm doing it. It's a lot cheaper. The same thing with breastfeeding. Like, I was adamant about sticking with it. While we have used formula, we have not bought more than 1 container of formula, and that's the one that we bought before we had him. And then we had like some free samples that we have utilized as well, but we haven't had to buy any, and it's really saving us. I know not everybody has the option, so I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that's what we've done. For our bottles, we have the baby Brezza that we got from my husband's coworker friend. And that has been great. I love that thing. Makes up to 4 bottles and you have to clean it. But I think when we get to the point when with PD, I would make like 4 his bottles for the day in the morning and then feed him. So when we get to that point, that will be a really nice thing to use. So food, breastfeeding, baby. Whitley is amazing. He's a, believe it or not, better sleeper than PD was. PD was starting to sleep through the night at around 6-ish weeks, but we were getting long stretches, and he usually would wake up at like 4 a.m. and then sleep the rest of the night. Whitley, I believe because our like sleep pattern is so bad, because my husband and I are both not working. We're with PD. Drew went back to work in like 2 days after we had Pete. With Wit, we are going to bed around 10, 11. sometimes midnight, and he will sleep the entire night, and then I have to wake him up in the morning to eat. So he goes pretty long stretches. His sleep patterns during the day are not as consistent as PD's were. PD like had a really set schedule at a young age that he set for himself, and Whitley does not. And I'm sure it'll get established, but I'm not like really pushing anything on him. Like his naps are sporadic. A lot of that has to do with having a toddler, because he wakes him up all the time. But he does sleep really well while like sitting with us. I was able to get him to sleep in his crib during the day, and lately it just has not worked. And it may just because of like where he's at 3 months wise. Sleeps really good. He eats really good. He's not super fussy. He occasionally will get fussy in the evening. He gets a lot of gas. He's a very gassy baby. He has some funny little cues to let me know that he's ready to eat and sleep. His sleep is the harder one for me to read. But I haven't ever gotten to the point where he seems overtired, where PD, I feel like maybe it was the first time mom thing, but he definitely got some overtiredness sometimes. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. But when he is super hungry, like he is like dripping with drool. We always joke that he's like foaming from the mouth. And so it's really cute. For his milestones, he's been rolling from his front to his back since he was like 2 weeks old. And I know Petey did that, but he stopped for a while and then it came back. Well, Whit has been very consistent about it, like with his rolling. I know Petey was doing it consistently by 1 month, but Whit's been doing it consistently since he was about 2 weeks old. He's really, really strong, and I don't know if it's because he was a little bit smaller, but he is very consistent with it. And then a lot of people have commented on this, friends, family, coworkers, and things, but he is really good at holding his head up. And I know a lot of people say that, but he holds it straight up practically when he is on his tummy. And I feel like that is a lot more ahead of where Petey was. And I feel like he is going to crawl faster than Petey did. He is really good. He's already rolling to his... So he'll be on his back, his tummy, and he'll roll to his side and then roll back over to his tummy. So I feel like he's going to roll a lot sooner than Petey, and I feel like he's going to crawl a lot sooner than Petey is. So... my mom said that my brother started crawling before I did, so we'll kind of see what happens. He is a big smiley boy. I feel like he started smiling sooner too. It was definitely before a month. And my goodness, I'm eating about 5 ounces, sleeping through the night. Oh, air conditioning's going down. So hopefully this is not a shitty quality video. Might have to like stop and watch it. Okay, it didn't seem too bad, so sorry if that like really annoyed you, but so that is where he is. Moving on to myself, and I never did like a 1 month update. I think I recorded it and didn't like it and deleted it and decided I was just going to do a 3 month. So I was down to pre-pregnancy weight about 1 month in. I have not weighed myself since my 6-week appointment and I was just under my pre-pregnancy, and I hate weighing myself, so I try not to, so I'm just going off of feel. But I feel like I'm eating crappy, but then I also don't eat as well, and I've also started working out, so that's why I'm downstairs. I'm getting ready to work out, but because I've been on maternity leave, I've been very adamant about trying to get back into a fitness routine. And that is not something I was able to do at my old house. And I had a gym membership before I had PD, and I never went back. And it's really hard for me to work out at work. And then at home, my old house, we'd get home so late in the evening that it felt impossible to get anything done. On top of trying to get a workout in, we did Beachbody, and that was great, but it was not always possible with having kiddos. So we had a walking pad at the old house, and we brought it here, obviously. But recently my brother texted us and was like, hey, I have a treadmill, do you want it? So we've had this treadmill about, I think this is the second week we've had it, and it is amazing, game changer. I've been doing some incline workouts. I noticed after I had WIT that my muscle tone in my legs was like gone. I felt like, I looked at my legs and was like, oh my God, it looks like I'm in high school again, because I had like stick legs. So I've been doing walking workouts to kind of build that back up again. And then I'm hoping to get back into running. And I'm trying to create these healthy patterns before I am back to work full time. And then my goal moving forward is to get up before work and work out and then feed WIT and be able to get ready for the day. I started back at work this past Saturday, and I'm not full-time. I'm just kind of I'm starting with a couple of shifts this past week. So I worked 2 days this week, and then I'm going to work 3 days-ish next week and get back into a work schedule. I'm planning on pumping a little bit at work, only when I need it, just to keep up my supply for the amount of time I want to. And then my goal is to be back full-time at work by the end of August. I definitely missed it. We went to like a summer event this past weekend or this past week, and everybody was saying hi and saying they missed me, and it felt really good. I felt missed. It always makes you feel like, oh, I do important things. But I definitely miss being there because summer is our busy time. I'm missing out on a lot that I normally would be there for. It was not ideal to have like a pre-summer baby and miss most of the summer, but it was my first summer off in 20 years, and I've been able to do things I don't normally get to do, and made me sit and analyze things moving forward that I'm hoping I can do a little bit more in the summer with my boys as they grow up. And that has been great, but I do miss work. I actually like worked yesterday, and it went by so fast, and I feel like all I did was update my calendar all day, and I don't know, it was great. I'm happy to go back. I did miss WIT and Pete a lot while I was gone. Okay, now the fun part is talking about going from a single mother to a singleton mother to a mom of two. And I'm gonna say that in some ways it's easier to transition to 2 kids, but then there's other ways that it is really hard. So I'll talk about the stuff that was easy. Most of the easy things was I already knew what to expect with the baby himself. My instincts are a lot better. I not as timid. My routines are better. My reading his cues are better. I'm able to handle him a lot better. Not getting stressed out as easily. So like that part is really easy. What is hard was the moment I had to not tell my son, but when I was kind of saying goodbye to him as being my only child, like before I had WIT, that was really hard. And then him coming to see me, and like that is really hard to come from a transition to your baby being the only one to him being a big brother or your big sister, whoever. That was hard, and it hurt my heart, even though I knew like it would be fine. Then I also struggled with, I needed, especially when Wit was new, I had to put a lot of my attention to him, and I felt like I was neglecting my son. That is something, it's going to be a big learning curve. I'm going to say that right now, is that the learning curve from one child to two, I felt so bad for my oldest. Like, I feel like I'm not giving you enough, and I tried to make time with him, and I'm still getting better at that. It's something I'm going to work on. And I'm hoping in the next year I get better at making time for both my kiddos. Obviously, Wit needs a lot more attention than PD does, but they still need the interaction. Now, P is at a hard stage in life. I feel like 3 is a lot worse than 2. So he's going through a lot of changes. We're potty training. He got a brother, like all sorts of things. So he has been absolute terror some days, where to the point I'm like, Mom, can I drop him off on your doorstep? Jokingly. But that has been a huge struggle. I may do a whole nother video about this transition and some tips and things, but that is pretty much the gist of this postpartum part. I feel good, and I'm hoping that I have more positive changes come the 6-month video that I do in November. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.